yoga workout. In terms of yoga, it's not the kind of yoga that you might be used to seeing on images, you know, all twisty, turny pretzels. It's very basic, very slow, integrated shapes that are aimed to just give you some balance in your structure. It's also your birthday present. Because I didn't give you a birthday present, and I thought, what better than to see me every day when you're doing a workout? So you'll need to have a yoga mat, which I've got this on, and you'll need to have a couple of blocks. I don't know if you've got any blocks like this, but I've got them at home, and I'll send them to you if you don't have any. And you'll also need a belt, of which I've also got one. But for now, you can use like a bathrobe belt tie. You just need a long strap, and we'll use that through the workout. So we're going to use a chair for most of what we're doing this morning. Any chair will do, so a yoga chair is what I've got, but you can just use a normal chair. If it's got a gap in the back, that would be good, but it's not essential. So just a base and an upright. And the first thing we're doing is sitting on the chair. So sit so that the edge of your sitting bones are on the edge of the chair. So you're well forward. And just make sure then that you're not going to fall off the chair. So grab your buttocks and pull them back a little bit so that you can feel the sitting bones, which are part of the pelvis, but you can feel them on the base of the chair. And also that you can feel them so you're right up on top of them. So your spine is nice and long and straight. Now if we start with the feet directly underneath each knee, and just take your attention down into your feet for a moment. In fact, even just lean forward on the knees like this. Don't slump, but as you come forward, push on them and lift the chest up. So I'm quite alert, but I'm looking at my feet. Now, as the very first thing is just to get some feeling in the feet. Lift your toes up. So just all 10 toes, lift them up. Spread the toes out. They may not move very much. Sometimes, you know, feet, they take some time to get some movement in them. But what we want to have is a lot of, like there are a lot of muscles in each foot. And usually they don't do much. They're stuck in shoes and you don't really use your feet very well. But the feet are so important to support the rest of your body. So lift all 10 toes up and wiggle them around. See if you can scrunch them up, stretch them out, spread them out, and just see what you can do with that in terms of just moving the toes up and down. You'll notice as you lift your toes up, you get the feeling in the arch of your foot. So the arch of the foot also is really important, but I won't go on about that. We're just going into the feeling of it. So lift your toes and relax them. And again, lift them up and relax them. Now if you come back up to sitting, and now lift your heels up. So lift your heels up. And as you lift the heels up, make sure that you're not buckling out with your ankles, but keep them in so you're right on top of the base of the big toe. Now stretch your foot as much as you can by lifting the heel up. So make that arch work. Go on, push the feet into the floor, lift up, do it with as much vim and energy as you can. And then release the heels back down again. And we just do that one more time. Lift the heels up. And then I want to do one more thing. You've got the heels up. Now take one foot, doesn't particularly matter which foot, lift it off the floor and just point the toes into the floor and stretch the top of your foot. So I'm curling my toes back underneath me until you stretch it as much as you can. It doesn't have to be hard, it'll hurt a little bit, it's a bit weird, but just see what you can do. Stretch the foot that way. And then just do that with the other one. So lift the foot that you just tucked under, lift the heel up. So you've got that foot nice and strong there. And lift the other foot up and curl the toes back underneath you. So use the floor to stretch the foot back that way. And again, don't let the heel drop out. It's tempting, but you'll have to use the muscles in the legs just to stabilize that leg. And stretch the foot as much as you can. And then bring the foot back down again. Okay, so that's good for the feet. Just come down, one hand, grab a hold of the front of the toes, and get your fingers underneath the foot, and just lift the ball of the foot up. So you'll feel that a bit of a stretch down the back of the ankle. Not much, it's not a hard thing, but just lift up. And then do that same thing with the other one. While I do that, I'm just leaning on the other elbow onto the knee just to support the trunk. And then I'm reaching down, grabbing a hold of the foot around the front of the foot, tuck the toes under, the fingers underneath, lift the toes up, and then lift the ball of the foot. So you stretch the ankle and you stretch the soles of the feet. And then release that. Now if you sit back upright on your chair again, right up, tall, hands resting on your thighs. Now walk both feet back as far as you can, but still that the heels are on the floor. You walk your feet back, heels down into the mat. So you'll feel that stretching down the back of the ankle. So now, push into the ball of the foot. So push that against the floor and push the heel into the floor. So what that does, you'll feel that work the muscles in the legs a little bit. Almost as though you're about to stand up off the chair. Don't need to do that. So lean forward a little bit and even press the forearms onto your knees. You can even just interlock your hands and push against the thigh bones with your elbows. So it gives you something to resist against. And again, press against the floor to push and lift you back up. So there's always working, anything we do in these sessions, they'll work with the weight, so we're leaning forward, but then what you have to do is resist that. So as you come forward, you push the feet into the floor until you feel the lift coming back up. So we're always working with the relationship between those two, the weight and then the action that supports the weight. That way you never get heavy into the joints. Like at this point you might be starting to feel it a little bit in the knee. If that's the case, then you've gone too far. So just back off a little bit, maybe even walk the feet a little bit more forward, so you're leaning on it. But what you're really creating here is the shin bones lifting back up against the thighs. And that's something that you can do. You don't need lots of equipment. You just need enough action to support the thigh bone so that it's not hitting up against the shin bone. I don't know how far you got sort of with your rehab with the knee replacement, but you're always wanting to create stability in the joints, and you need muscular tone and support for that to happen. So even here, as we lean forward, pressing into the balls of the feet, pressing into the heels, you'll feel that work your leg. So that's great. And then sit back up again. Okay, so we do a few things now on the chair for the upper body. Get your feet a little bit more forward again so the feet are just comfortably under the knees. But as we go through the arm variations, you'll still be maintaining the tone in your legs. So I want you to still keep pressing the feet and feeling the sitting bones and feeling a little bit of work in the legs. Not so much that it's exhausting, but enough so that it's there in the back of your mind. Or back of your body feeling, if you like. Okay, so with the arms now, just take the hands onto the chair behind your hips. Just fingertips onto the seat of the chair. I'm just going to put them down like that on the chair, but behind me. Depends on the chair a little bit, but hopefully you've got room there behind you. Just a fingertip touch with the back of the hand facing forward. And again with the pressing down and the lifting up. So press your fingers down and elbows back Now, deliberately lift up into the chest. So, see if you can lift the breastbone part of the chest up. Don't distort anything else, just stay completely upright, keep the head neutral. And there's not a lot that happens here, it's just a feeling, a little bit of lift, the back ribs come in, the elbows go back, and the shoulders always go down. Yeah, so press the shoulders down. So again, it's a little bit like you're about to stand up. Use the hands, use the feet as if they're about to lift up, which of course you won't do. But lift the chest and broaden across the top shoulders. Now keep that lift in the chest and bring the hands just onto your hips. Press the thumb and index finger down on your hips. Push down, elbows out to the side, and shoulders back and shoulders down. So these are not big, exciting movements, but they're designed to just give you the form. You want to get the action of the shoulders moving down out of the neck. Because most of the time we wander around with our shoulders up around our ears and the chest drops. So we just need to establish a different pattern. Shoulders down, chest up. Take a few breaths into that. Now what if we bring the arms and extend them out to the side and have that same feeling? So I'm going to turn my hands to face towards you, palms open, fingers extended, and shoulders down. Now it starts to get a bit of a nervy feeling down the arms at this point. Bit weird, a bit yucky. So shoulders down, arms extended out, but again lift the chest. Now just stay with that feeling. Don't lift the shoulders in order to not have that feeling. Press the shoulders down. Still working the legs. Now we intensify that a little bit by turning the arms up, the hands up towards the ceiling, and that rotates right into the upper arm. And then curl the fingers down towards the floor and see if you can sharpen the heel of the hand. Yikes. Bend the arm a little bit like this, fingers down, or hands open, and then straighten the arm. Feel how much the back supports this. Shoulder blades down, chest up, and again breathe into it. Just persevere a few more breaths, and then relax. Okay, so take the hands now, interlock them above your head with the elbows outside. In fact, even just put them on your head. So elbows out to the side, but just probably a little forward, more than directly out to the side. And again, shoulder blades down, chest up, and open those elbows out. Just feel that, breathe into the chest, breathe up, all the way. And then from there, lift the hands off the head and turn the hands back the other way. Just try and turn them right around, up towards the ceiling. Now, if you can't do that, that's okay. Just lift them off the head and a little bit forward. So we're always trying to find what you can do, not put you in positions that are awkward or uncomfortable or that feel painful. Yeah, so by lifting the hands off the head, taking them forward a little bit, you can really draw those shoulders down again. Elbows out, and let's have a go at straightening the arms now, just slowly, so that in going slowly you can be aware of what's happening through the rest of the body. Don't tense the neck or the jaw or the throat. The minute you take your arms up like this, tension comes here. So just back off a little bit, and then again extend the arms up. Just reach them up. So that's fine. See how my arms are a little forward? I'm aiming to take them more directly up. But you don't have to just put them there, because that might mean a lot of tension again in the neck. So just find the angle that you can keep your shoulders down and your chest up. Relax the neck again. In fact, even just look down, stretch the back of the neck that way. And then let's go the other way. So look up and lift the chest up towards the hand. So head back, but hands up. Whew. Bend your arms, release the hands, and rest the hands back down on the legs. So now, turn your feet slightly around to one side. Doesn't really matter which side, but that you're diagonally on your chair. Okay, so then take your left hand, I'm turning to my left. Take your left hand to the outside of the right leg. Now make that press hard up against the knee. And now turn and face towards the other angle. And take your other hand onto the chair or the upright of the chair. It depends on what you've got and how you can use it in your chair. I'm just going to put my hand on the back of the chair there, use it, and I'm going to twist. So an upright twist. Now remember I talked to you about the resistance and the action in the legs. So that's what's most important here, is that you're turning away from the legs, but that you're keeping your hips as they were. So the hip that you're moving away from, that sitting bone, stick it down into the chair, push it against the floor with the feet. So even here, you feel your legs working. And turn towards that side, twist, open the chest, roll the shoulders down. Now, I just want to stay here for a couple more breaths. Breathe into your chest. Try to open and lift the chest as you breathe in. You're working with the arms, but keep your shoulders down. Now when you come back to the center, don't collapse. Just try to stay upright, but just ease, relax, but don't just sink down. Sit up tall, and then we go to the other side. Walk your feet around. So you can feel you've got an alignment here, but it's off to the side. Feet, knees, sitting bones. And then hand onto the leg. Push the hand against the leg, but get the leg to push against the hand. So you'll feel that working in the legs. Take the other hand behind you, and then again, as you inhale, lift up tall, and as you exhale, turn around. I'm not particularly taking the head with it, you could, but at this point I just want to get the basic twist coming a little bit in the chest. So that you get to feel what you're working against in order to turn. So how much you turn is not so important, but that you feel the resistance against the turn. So pressing into the feet, stabilizing the legs, and turning right from inside your pelvis. So not moving the bones, but squeezing inside and turning that way. Now breathe here. Slow breaths, not forced slowly, just comfortably slow. And then release. Come back to the middle of the chair again as we did at the beginning. And sit forward so that you're on the edge of the chair. Bring the feet a little bit more underneath you. And as the feet come back underneath you, lean forward against that. if, again, you're about to stand up. Bring the hands onto the knees and push down against them. So again, I'm just taking a little more time here to get the legs to work. You'll feel this as an opening in the back of the ankle. So back with the feet, but just so the heels are still on the floor. And lean forward against the knees. But when you push down into the knees, see if you can push the knees back up against the hands. So again, it's like an internal feeling, and you'll get those legs to kind of work. So what if you do stand up now? How can you stand up? You can use the hands to help you and lean forward as much as you need to. Press into the feet and just lift your hips slowly, slowly. Keep coming forward, slowly, slowly, slowly come up to standing. Okay, now that, hopefully you felt that in the legs, like they were working. So I just do that again. So it's important that you go slowly and take on the work in the legs. So it's not like you try to avoid it, which is tempting. But come down again slowly. You don't want to miss the chair, so the hands are going to reach for the chair at some point. So come down slowly, knowing you're about to sit back into that chair again. So you'll need to come forward with the body, but get down with the hips. And at some point, when you go, I don't know where to go here, stay forward into the feet, but go back with the hips. And again, now stretch the hands to the chair. So I can feel the chair there, so I know that I'm not going to miss it. And that last bit, slowly, slowly, come down onto the chair and sit back up again. Now again, if you feel any of this in your knee joint, it just sort of shows that the feet and the shins are not yet active enough to support the load of the thigh bone, which means it's sort of sinking into the knee joint rather than getting all the way down to the floor. So if that's the case, the things that you can adjust, I guess, are the feet. You can walk the feet just a little bit more forward. So try that one more time. We'll just do it one more time. Coming forward, still got my hands on the chair there to just guide the spine forward. And again, press into the feet. So you come forward and slowly, as far forward as you need to, and then slowly, slowly up to standing. Now without, just stay there. You've still got the chair, but we're not going to use it. Just bend the knees and straighten them. Easy enough. But what we want to do is load it up with the action against the floor. So lift your toes. Press the balls of the feet, press the heels. Now keep that going. And now bend your knees without losing the toes. So it'll stop you going down so far, but go down as far as you can. And then back up again. One more time, toes up. And down, 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 down. Keeping the back straight, but tipped forward. And back up again. Okay, so we're still going now. A few more things. How long has this been? Not sure, but we'll maybe do another 5 or 10 minutes today. And then if we do some other sessions, I might change what it is that we do in it. So, I didn't say before, but it'd be great if you could set yourself up near a wall as well. I've got all these bars and ropes. You don't need any of that. You just need to have a wall, your mat, a chair, those blocks, but we won't use the blocks right now. So now put the chair sideways, and you're sideways along the wall like this, yes? And stand so that the chair is in front of you. And you can just come a little bit away from the wall. So you're standing about an arm's length from the wall. And that hand on the wall is kind kind of there. It's a stabilizing thing. Now stand up. It doesn't matter which side you're on. It doesn't matter which leg you're on. We're going to just do both legs this way and no, that's fine. So stand up on one leg and then lift the other leg and simply bring the foot up onto the chair. So this is a bit of a variation really of what you were doing sitting on the chair. But of course, it's a bit more work for the standing leg. So if you can put your hand onto that right thigh bone and come up as tall as you can on that standing straight leg. Now again, can you lift your toes a little bit? Now they probably won't actually come up off the floor, but just even the action of trying to lengthen your toes gives you access to the foot. Now push the bent leg, push that foot onto the chair. Again, so that you feel the connection now up into the pelvis. So you squeeze up into the pelvis. Again, this is a very simple strengthening pose, just to strengthen your standing leg. Alright, let's try that with the other side. You could change around, you could turn the chair, but it doesn't particularly matter, it's all the same. Standing up on the other leg. As I lift the other leg up, don't sink. So it's very important that you stay as tall and strong and steady on that standing leg as you can. So lift the other leg up. Put that foot up on the chair and feel that you're lifting up very tall. So I need a lot of stability and strength in that standing leg. Imagine you could do this in the middle of the room with the leg outstretched and that you're balancing and the legs up high. But we're just taking it right down to the beginnings of it, where you're just getting some stability in that standing leg. So I'm pushing the foot against the chair, but it's also as if I'm about to lift the leg off that chair. So push against the chair, but I'm also getting lift up into the pelvis. Now just hold this for a few breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. And then put the foot back down on the floor. Okay, now stay where you are. Take the feet just a little bit wider apart. So I've got them about that wide, so shoulder width apart. Yes? And then again, bend your knees. Just get the ankles, the knees, the hips, and tip the hips forward. So you can see I've got the chair in front of me, and I'm going to use the chair in a moment, but before I do that, just put your hands on your knees again, interlock the fingers, elbows on the knees, and get down like you're about to squat down. So get your hips down. Now put the hands on the chair and straighten the legs and see if you can keep your back very straight and flat. Okay, now if you've got the hamstrings will pull the pelvis and round it. So it depends on how tight you are on the backs of the legs. Probably, you'll feel that you're a bit tight. So what you can do, use the chair, so lean on it, lift the chest up off the arms, so you're leaning but you're also strong and active. Now bend your knees a little bit and see if you can poke your sitting bones out the back. That lifts them up and you lengthen your spine. And then it's up to you. Are you able to straighten your legs and keep your back where it is? And I guess, as you get more and more flexible, as we go through some different exercises for, opening up the hips and the legs, you'll be able to take it down deeper and up. Just hold that for a moment. Don't let them drop down again. See how they want to drop down? Don't let them drop. And then come back up. Now if we do some more sessions like this, I'll be building some standing poses into this. But I'm going to leave that there for now. And I'm going to do some floor work. So laying on your back and it'll be some stretches. This will be the last thing we do. Take about 10 more minutes. So your chair's going to be useful still. So get your chair facing the camera or facing the video. Yes, you've got it in front of you. You've got your mat lengthways like that. Put your chair over to your right side. It'll be, see how I've got it just off to the side like that. You might need to adjust it as you do this, but because it might not be in quite the right place. But at the moment, try it there and we'll see how that goes. And this is where you need your belt. Whether you've got like a bathrobe belt or one of my stretchy belts that I'll send you, it doesn't matter. You just need a long, loopy belt. Now, if you've got a blanket, I know I didn't say that at the beginning, but something that you can put under your head. Otherwise, the neck can get a bit tight. So lay down on your back and lay with your legs bent and your head on the blanket with your chair off to your right. It doesn't matter if it's left or right, but I'll be saying right, so I don't want to confuse you. Okay, just set up long on the floor there. So that's a relief, isn't it? Just to lay on the floor, on your mat, legs bent. Relax for a moment, take a few breaths. Soften the neck. And then, first thing, bend your right knee in towards you and take a hold behind the knee joint. So just interlock your fingers behind the leg, behind the knee. Get your fingers right up into the knee joint. And then, so against that, squeeze the shin bone down against your fingers, like you're squashing your fingers. And then pull the leg in towards you. Doesn't come all that far, especially if you keep your hips level and straight, shoulders down. Just hold that for a few breaths. And then keep it there, keep drawing it in, squeezing the shin down against your four squashed fingers, and then stretch out the left leg onto the floor. Now see if you can get it right down so the thigh bone's on the floor. You might not be able to, but just take it as long as you can on the floor. Now keep your thigh bone where it is, keep pulling the thigh bone in towards you, and then just lift the foot up. And at some point, that'll be it. You won't be able to go any further. Just get to where you can, as high up with that foot as you can. Just hold that. And then take a hold of your belt and lasso the foot. Put it over the arch of your foot, and then with the head back on the floor and letting the belt slide through the fingers just as much as you need to until your leg is straight. Now it depends, it doesn't matter if the leg's like 45 degrees, that's fine. Just take it as high as you can until the leg is straight. Hold that, just aiming to really press up into the belt with the foot and again straighten the leg. Try not to force it though, like, I don't know, this might be really uncomfortable for you, painful in the back of the leg. Try not to distort the rest of the body, so relax the head, relax the again, but you're aiming in that place to still straighten the leg. Now you've got the chair off to your right side, and now I'm going to get you to take the leg out onto the chair. So I've positioned it so that my outer calf just comes to the edge of the chair. If you've got quite a sharp chair, you can put a blanket over the chair, or you can move the chair further out so that it's just underneath the ankles. So now, you might be quite tight here as well, and this is hard. Just do the best you can, keeping that left side down on the floor as much as possible. Now relax here actually. You don't need to do any work, you can just simply relax the leg onto the chair. But in relaxing the leg on the chair, aim to keep it straight. So that work happens. Relax your belly, relax your chest, and let the head go. Big breath in, big breath out. And then from there, inhale again, bring the leg back up. Now we've got one more variation here with this same leg. Okay, so change hands. Hold the belt with the opposite hand to the leg that you're using. And now take the leg over to the left, in my case. Just a few breaths. Now this is painful, okay? I know. Try not to react to that pain. Don't do it so much, so strongly, that you can't handle it. That's always a really helpful tip in yoga. You only do as much as you're able to cope with in terms of sensation. Now, I could say pain, but I prefer the word sensation. Yeah. So, take the leg across, breathe in, breathe out. Try to relax. I'm still working that leg, but I'm relaxing the rest of the body. Okay, bring the leg back up again and release it. Okay, so we need to take the chair across to the other side now. So sit yourselves up, grab the chair. If you need to stand up to do that, that's fine. Or do whatever you need to do just to get that chair over to the other side. And then once again, we'll do the whole thing now onto the other leg. So lay down, legs bent, and bend the left leg in towards you. Now tuck the fingers behind the knee again, interlock them, and lift them right up into the back of the knee. And then bend the knee against your fingers. See how I'm keeping my toes pointing up to the ceiling? And then keeping the leg working, draw the leg back in towards you. So I'm not pulling in too hard. I'm actually pressing out against my hands with the thigh bone. That kind of feels opposite, doesn't it, to what you think you should be doing. But that way you keep your back free of any tension. And also it helps you to relax your diaphragm and your chest. Now, extend the right leg out long. That makes it a bit more difficult. And then take the belt around your... Oh, sorry, before we did that, we did on the other side. We just lifted the foot up, didn't we? Just do that, track it up. Again, it'll come up against your tightnesses, which is fine. But try not to fight with it or force it or distort any other part of your body. Okay, and then lasso the foot with the belt and straighten the leg up. Relax your face. Breathe slowly in. Breathe slowly out. Try not to react to the sensation and don't force it. Just ease
short timing today, although it might feel quite long to you, as you know, first time you do something, it feels quite intense. But you can be doing these leg stretches every day, just opening up the back of the leg, stabilising. That's very good. So, take your hand, left hand, so same hand as leg, and open that leg out onto your chair. You'll get to know exactly where you need to put the chair so that it is a bit of a stretch on the thighs here. Further away the chair is, then the more open you're getting in the hip, but press down in that right hip. Couple of breaths here. Again, keep the shoulders down. Keep the neck long. You don't want any strain in the upper body. And then inhale and bring the leg back up to the top. Take the right hand onto the belt. Inhale. So that you coordinate your movement with the exhalation. Take the leg out over to the right. Just a little bit, and not so much that everything tenses up or pulls away from it. Keep your spine relaxed. And then bring the leg back up and relax. Okay, straighten out both legs. That's all we're going to do for today's session. So you're already here on the floor. So I'd like you to take just a few minutes now with a blanket under the head as high as is comfortable, the legs outstretched, the arms released a little bit away from the body, and the hands facing up. And just relax the arms and relax the shoulders. Close your eyes. And breathe slowly. So bring your attention to your breath and just take a slow breath in. And a slow breath out. And again, take a slow breath in. And a slow breath out. Do that again, because my timing might be too slow for you. Just take your own deep, slow, soft breaths. And as you're breathing in and out, feel your body relaxing on the floor. So you've done a bit of work, so those muscles will be ready and very happy to relax. Let go of your head, and then we'll finish. So bend your knees, come over and onto your side, and I'll see you next time.